found. The Inspector General Michael Bolton said there was alarming language about the potential for violence by the pro-Trump mob that was omitted from an intelligence report. Riot gear was old or improperly maintained. Less lethal munitions were not used in some cases because of their age or lack of training. Other weapons weren't used, the report said, because of orders from leadership. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York.
ABC News has confirmed that the U.S. is preparing to add another round of sanctions to Russia, this time for Moscow's massive SolarWinds hack last year that targeted computer networks at government agencies and corporations. Along with Russia's continued meddling in the U.S., the White House press secretary said a phone call this week, President Biden told Russia's leader the U.S. would respond. Tensions remain high in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, just outside Minneapolis. Crowds taking to the streets for a fourth night in the police shooting of 20-year-old Dante Wright. The officer charged with second-degree manslaughter will appear in court today after making bail. ABC's Alex Stone is there.
Here at police headquarters, a National Guard is standing with their guns across their chests, and police are up on the rooftop watching over the area. At former officer Kim Potter's home, it's now a fortress, fencing and concrete barriers to prevent anyone from getting inside. It remains very tense in this community.
ABC's Alex Stone in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota. You're listening to ABC News.
Do you check your Google search results regularly? You should. People often get their first impression of you or your business online. Negative comments on the internet can impact your life and your livelihood. Take control of your online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. It may reveal negative posts from an ex-employee, upset patient or client, news article, legal issue, or even exposed personal information right there in your Google search results. Uncover what's lurking on the internet about you with reputationdefender.com's patented scan and get your free reputation report card. Or for immediate assistance with your reputation, call 800-401-6681. Our cutting-edge technology helps make your Google search results look their best. Call 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681. 800-401-6681. Or take the free scan at reputationdefender.com.
Search teams still looking for a dozen sailors missing after a commercial ship capsized off the Louisiana coast.
Bruce Simon was on a boat 7 miles from the Seacorp Power, a lift boat with 19 crew on board when the radio crackled to life.
It caught everybody unexpected, you know. All you heard was Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. We're taking on water.
In 75-mile-an-hour winds and 8-foot seas, Coast Guard Captain Will Watson says,
we are searching in that area and in a successive pattern out from that area.
6 men were rescued. The body of a 7th was recovered. 12 are still missing. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
They may sit on opposite ideological sides of the Supreme Court, but Justices Sonia Sotomayor and Neil Gorsuch united in speaking out against the spread of disinformation. Justice Sotomayor pointing to an MIT study that finds 70% more likely to be shared.
That is frightening, isn't it? That people don't learn about truthful statements as much as false statements through social media.
Justice Gorsuch.
That is the real threat to our national security.
Justice Gorsuch, in their remarks to the National Security Institute, also says the topic we're talking about is internal. And if we don't care about living in a democracy, we don't tend to garden democracy in the conditions that make it right. This is ABC News.
O'Reilly Auto Parts is here to keep your car on the road with the right parts, advice from our parts professionals, and our free loaner tool program. Your local store has more than 80 specialty tools available for your next repair. Refundable deposit required. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and ask about our free loaner tool program or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Michelle Franz on ABC News.
You know, folks are saying once you've used a Massey Ferguson, you won't ever want another tractor. They're tough, versatile, and dependable. And now with the change of season special at NC Tractor and Farm Supply, you'll be wise to get your special deal. Our tractors have been running in families for generations. Ask about the Phil Sheehan special going on right now. NC Tractor, 299 Railroad Avenue, Rutherfordton. Call 288-0395.
Good morning and happy Thursday. We're seeing a mostly cloudy sky with just a few leftover showers this morning. Most of you, though, starting dry. And we'll see those clouds decrease through the day today. Highs in the upper 60s to near 70. It'll feel less humid this afternoon and we'll get quite chilly overnight tonight. We're back in the low to mid 40s Friday morning. Friday afternoon, expect a mostly sunny sky. Beautiful day with highs in the mid to upper 60s and near 70. Rain showers back with us on Saturday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
And right now we are at 58 degrees here at WCAB. Warming up to about 69 for a daytime high. Now, it looks like the only rain I see coming up through the weekend is probably Saturday. And there's a slight chance, maybe a 40% chance of rain on Saturday and 30% Saturday night. Sunday looks good. Highs around 69, no rain in that forecast. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the second hour of 3 of the morning wake-up call. So glad you've made us your choice to wake up to. Now I have these death announcements. Russell Lee Rusty Bridges, age 56, of Mooresboro, died Sunday at Spartanburg Regional Medical Center. The family will hold a memorial service at the home of his daughter, Shannon Bridges, on Hogpen Branch Road, Mooresboro, Saturday, April 17th at 7 p.m. The Pageant and King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of the cremation arrangements for Russell Lee Rusty Bridges. Wilma J. Fortune, 88, of High Point, died Tuesday. Graveside service will be conducted at 3 o'clock Friday, April 16th at First Broad Baptist Church Cemetery. Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service is in charge of the arrangements for Wilma J. Fortune. Eugene Harden, age 81, of Rutherfordton, died Monday at his home. The family will receive friends from 1 until 2 o'clock Friday, April 16th at Fellowship Baptist Church in the Fellowship Hall. The funeral service will be at Fellowship Baptist Church at 2 o'clock on Friday. Burial will be at Fellowship Baptist Church Cemetery following the service. Mike Mahan's funeral home and cremation service is in charge of the arrangements for Eugene Harden. Clyde E. Husky, age 89, of Forest City, passed away Saturday, April 10th at his residence. A graveside service will be conducted at 11 o'clock Friday, April 16th at Floyd's Creek Baptist Church Cemetery. Military honors will be provided by the Rutherford County Honor Guard. There will be viewing for the family and friends at 6 o'clock today at the funeral home. Harrelson Funeral and Cremation Services entrusted with those arrangements for Clyde E. Husky. J. Von Logan, age 60, of Hudlow Road, Forest City, died March 31st at Rutherford Regional Hospital. A private memorial service will be at Pruitt Funeral Home. Mask and social distancing are required. Pruitt Funeral Home and Cremation Services in charge of the arrangements for J. Von Logan. Barbara Jane B.J. Kaiser McRory, 76, of Rutherfordton, passed away April 14th. A memorial service will be held in the outdoor garden at the First United Methodist Church, April 17th, North Main Street, Rutherfordton. Following the service, the family will welcome family and friends at their home, 1589 Darlington Road, Rutherfordton, from 1 until 4 o'clock. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Barbara Jane B.J. Kaiser McRory. Barbara Jane Foy Bell passed away April 13th at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. A celebration of life will be held 4 o'clock Friday, April 16th at 263 Soco Gap Road, Ellenboro. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Barbara Jane Four Bell. Those are the death announcements we have in-house this morning. Complete information on these and others as they become available to us can be heard this morning at 11:35 and then again at 5:10 as part of the afternoon report. High school football action Friday night. We'll be traveling up to Murphy to broadcast that game back home to Thomas Jefferson, the only school in our county going to the state playoffs, and we'll carry that game for you Friday night. Be sure to join us.
Axios writer Felix Salmon reports that trust in the drive-by media has reached a low point in America. It's so low that he says it's at a crisis state. Now, he reports that for the first time ever, fewer than half of all Americans trust the traditional media, meaning the drive-bys. Almost 60% of Americans believe that most Traditional news outlets are more concerned with an ideology or a political position than they are reporting the news. Almost the same percentage think that the drive-by media journalists are willing to tell gross exaggerations and to report things they know are false, i.e. fake news. In typical Axios format, the reporter then has to tell his millennial readers why it matters. Felix Salmon, maybe it's pronounced salmon, who knows, says this matters because faith in society's central institutions, especially in government and media, is the glue that holds society together. And that glue, he says, is visibly dissolving. And for many millions of Americans, it's disappeared completely. Salmon does not understand that the reason 60% of Americans have no faith in the media or in his precious government institutions is because they're smart. They know the drive-bys and the deep state government are run by dishonest, corrupt, vicious leftists. And for the last 4 years, they've seen those liberals totally deranged with hatred for Trump and everyone who supports him. That's really why it matters. And they don't even have the slightest idea.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free. Just go to this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free. ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Now, wouldn't it be nice to get medical attention and not have to leave your home? Now you can, thanks to Remote MD. Remote MD is pleased to announce they have initiated a telemedicine program for residents in North Carolina. The telemedicine program is available to all residents in North Carolina, including Rutherford and Polk counties. It is designed to treat common medical illnesses right from your home. Now, isn't that great? No appointment is necessary, no waiting for days to see someone. This is a wonderful opportunity for people who are struggling financially or have a complicated insurance plan. But your health is important to you, and you want attention now. There are no copays or deductible, and unlimited usage programs start at just $59.99 a month. Learn more about this program. Contact Remote MD today at www.remotemd.net. Again, that's www.remotemd.net.
WCAB, the music's on us.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning.
Your 2021 Atlanta Braves are ready to defend their division crown and take Atlanta baseball fans on another fun ride.
And it's hit in the air to right field and deep. Conforto going back at the wall. It's gone! Marcell Ozuna to the opposite field has tied the game in the ninth.
And join us as we bring you another exciting season of Atlanta Braves baseball right here on your home for the Braves. We are 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB, Rutherfordton.
Braves will be playing this afternoon, 11:05 airtime. That first pitch is 12:20. We'll have that game for you this afternoon.
Someone has said that when a legend becomes bigger than reality, then the legend becomes reality. In the case of one young girl who went to work for Buffalo Bill Cody on April 17, 1885, her name became synonymous with the Old West. However, she had never been out west, and she sure wasn't a cowgirl. She was born Phoebe Ann Moses to a poor family of 7 children in Ohio. At the age of 8, with her father's rifle propped on the porch banister, she shot a squirrel through the head. It frightened Phoebe Ann's mother so that she wasn't able to touch the rifle for several months. But soon she was responsible for keeping meat on her family's table. As a teenager, Phoebe Ann earned money by supplying game to a general store. The store manager shipped the surplus game to a hotel. When the hotel owner discovered it was a young girl providing the meat, he set up a match between Phoebe Ann and a traveling exhibition sharpshooter named Frank Butler. The 15-year-old Phoebe Ann, wearing a sunbonnet and pink gingham dress, outshot Frank Butler. Frank was so impressed with this elegant young woman that he later convinced her to marry him. Frank and partner Billy Graham were the show until one day when Graham was ill, Frank asked his wife to stand in. On that day, Annie Oakley was born. Annie Oakley and her husband performed by themselves and with a variety of vaudeville shows until they happened to be playing in New Orleans, where Buffalo Bill's Wild West show was also performing. The result, as we shall see the next time we're together, changed all of their lives. You've just heard another story from Chronicle of the Old West. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Well, here we are on the downside of this week. It's Thursday, the 15th day of April. We're going now to the phone to find out what's been happening in the past 24 hours or so. And on the phone with me right now is Sheriff Chris Francis. Good morning, Sheriff.
Good morning, Jim Bishop. How are you doing this morning?
Doing very well. I hope you are.
I am, sir. Thank you for asking.
Yes, sir. Tell us what's been going on in your department.
Jim, in the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 150 calls of service. There have been 14 arrests processed at County Jail. Currently incarcerated, we have 141. Among those arrested, Ronald Brandon Green, 40-year-old male of Ellenboro, was charged on child support non-support warrants, received a $1,000 cash bond. Brandon Marquez Hamilton, 35-year-old male of Mooresboro, was charged with driving while license revoked, failure to appear, and possession of Schedule II narcotics, and received a $5,000 secure bond. Lexus Sierra Watson, 19-year-old female of Mooresboro, was charged with 2 counts of injury to property, received a written promise to appear. Jonathan Ray Hernandez, 31-year-old male of Greenville, South Carolina, was charged with failure to appear and received a $500 secure bond. Kinley Jane Connor, 26-year-old female of Ellenboro, was charged with communicating threats. In our instance, we had a larceny on Soco Gap Road. There was a 5x8 U-Haul trailer, enclosed trailer, valued at $10,000, displaying the Oklahoma tag of 234R4 that they did not show that had been rented, and they could not locate it when they did the inventory, so it was reported stolen or missing. We also have a missing person on Barnes Road in Union Mills. Ashley Taylor Flack. She's a 29-year-old female. She's 5'3", approximately 160 pounds, with brown hair and blue eyes. Also, her 9-month-old baby, Gabriella Rochelle Flack, who also has blue eyes and light brown hair, were reported missing yesterday when Ashley's mother, whom they both live with, woke up approximately 6 o'clock and was unable to locate them. They possibly are in a 1994 Pontiac Bonneville, gray in color, displaying a tag of TFB3649. And Ashley's mother did show some concerns that this was, unlike her, not to know where her daughter and granddaughter were, and did show a lot of concern and report her missing. So Ashley's not in trouble, but we would just like to make sure she's okay and get some relief for her mother, knowing that she is okay. We also had a break-in enter and larceny on Pea Ridge Road in Boston. It was a 32-inch flat-screen TV valued at $100, Bluetooth speakers valued at $100, and a picture that portrayed Jesus valued at $50 that was taken in that instant. Then we also had a Pamela Jackson LeGrand, 56-year-old black female that previously had been reported missing, that we put out information on. She was last seen in a blue button-up T-shirt and blue jeans, last seen on Tuesday, April the 13th. Also, we'd like information on her. If anyone knows where Miss Pamela Jackson LeGrand is, they could feel free to contact us at 286-2911 or 286-8477, which is our Crime Stoppers number, 286-8477. Again, Miss LeGrand is also not in trouble, but her family would like to know that she's okay. Jim, that's what we had to report today.
So somebody stole a picture of Jesus.
Isn't that sad? I thought the exact same thing. I hope that somehow they'll sense that wasn't right, and maybe turn their lives around.
Miraculous things have happened in the past, so maybe this would be one of those.
Exactly.
Sheriff, thank you very much for that report, and I hope you have a safe day out there. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, sir. Bye-bye.
Sheriff Chris Francis reporting in this morning from his office. It's now 20 minutes after 7.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush, brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Now let's say good morning to Stacy over at 911 Communications Center and get a report. Hi, Stacy.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. What's on your report?
In the past 24 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications Center has processed 410 911 calls, administrative calls, which consist of 46 EMS calls, 30 for rescue, under Law Enforcement Sheriff's Office 150, Forest City 67, Rutherford 37, Lake Lord 6, and Spindale 68. Excuse me. Under fire calls, dispatched Ballstick to a structure fire, assisted by Cliffside, Ellenborough, and Forest City, Cliffside to a brush fire, Forest City to industrial fire alarm, Hudlow to a woods fire, Lake Lord to a residential fire alarm, Rutherford to a brush fire, Spindale to a carbon monoxide leak, and Sandy Mush to a vehicle fire. And that's all we have.
Thanks so much. You have a great day.
All right, you too.
Bye.
Another season has come and gone, and you're still looking at that same sad-looking sofa or recliner. Well, now's the time to change the inside of your home to look as pretty as the spring and summer colors outside. And the perfect place to start is the Recliner Center. Right now at the Recliner Center, everything is 20% off. That's 20% off sofas, recliners, sofa recliners. If someone you love is having trouble standing, the Recliner Center has all lift chairs on sale for 10% off. All lift chairs, 10% off. Now, some of these chairs can take you from a standing position, then safely back down to a sitting position with no effort on your part whatsoever. Angela is cleaning out merchandise to make room for more. So now's your chance to redecorate your home and take advantage of the great savings at the Recliner Center. All lift chairs, 10% off. Everything else is 20% off. Angela is seeing folks by appointment only, so call 828-395-3562. Call her today. The Recliner Center. They're on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
The Shiloh, Danieltown, Oakland Fire District is our next stop, and Ruby Taylor's on the phone to give us the news. Ruby, good morning.
Good morning.
What's been happening over there?
Well, the fire department didn't have any calls, and on my birthday calendar I got Louise Cole and Ricky Henson having birthdays today, and hope they have a nice day. And the signs are in the arms today and tomorrow, and that's all I got.
Thanks so much, Ruby. Enjoy your Thursday.
Well, okay. You too.
Bye.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
We want to check in now up at the Fairfield Mountains Fire District, and Gary Wilson's on the phone to give us the news from there. Good morning, Gary.
Hey, Jim. How you doing?
Doing well. Hope you are.
Yeah, doing good. It's a nice warm start this morning. About 58 degrees and partly cloudy and no rain. Had about 8 drops, I think I counted last night when I got home from church. A little front come through and spit a few drops, and that was about it. So we're good to go up here weather-wise this morning. Got had one fire call in the last 24 hours for a fire alarm. Everything turned out okay on that. And one announcement, Bill's Creek will be having their yard sale this Saturday morning, starting at 7 o'clock till 3, and they'll have some coffee and sausage biscuits that morning and some hamburgers and hot dogs for lunch. So if you're hungry or looking for a good items by the yard sale, I'd suggest you go out through there. They always have good crowd for that and a lot of stuff. So hope we have a good turnout and good weather for it, maybe. And other than that, we're pretty much good to go up here this morning, Jim. Everything's going on pretty good. I think budding out now. That pollen's been rough this spring, but
it sure has. It's been out everywhere, hasn't it?
It has. It gives me a fit sometimes in the spring of the year. Been awful heavy this year, seems like. But get a little rain in here, maybe in a few days, we'll wash some of that stuff away.
I sure hope so. It looks like you're driving a different color car most of the time.
It does. It does. Everything's a lime green color now, looks like.
Right. Well, Gary, thanks so much for telling us what's going on up there and staying with us, and I appreciate it, and you have a great day.
All right, you too, Jim.
See ya. Well, it's one of those stores that you like to talk about once you've been in there and the things you say about them, always positive. That's Washburn Community Store. There in the Washburn community, you can go in right now and find seeds for planting. They got plenty of those. And if you need work gloves to work in the garden, they got some of those. Hats to put on your head to keep the sun out of your eyes. And they might even have something to keep the pollen out of your nose. Check with them. They might even have something like that. I do know they've got plenty of cold drinks and plenty of hoop cheese that everybody loves. Their hoop cheese they sell up there. It's just a variety store, and it's historically significant, and it's ours. It's right here. Tell your friends and neighbors about it. Brag on it a little bit. And your guests coming in from somewhere else, take them to Washburn Store. It'll be a treat for them. Between Bostic and Sunshine on the Bostic Sunshine Highway. Hey, Bob Hodge, how are you doing this morning?
Oh, we're doing mighty fine up here on this Thursday morning.
Glad to hear that. You sound like you're...
You look...
Go ahead.
Yeah, you're looking good over there this morning.
I was hoping you'd say that, Bob. Thank you.
Oh, well, things are going along good up here this morning. And with the fire department overnight, we answered one brush fire call and then now trash fire call. And other than that, it's been pretty quiet. So far this morning, it's been quiet. Things are going along good. And the suns are coming up pretty this morning. And look like we're going to have another nice day. It might be a little cooler, but not too bad.
Well, that wind blowing just enough to make those fires a little more dangerous than usual. So people really need to be careful when they do a fire, burning leaves or whatever.
Yes, it is. When that wind blows, after a day or two, that dries the ground out on top, real good. So you have to be awful careful.
Yes.
Well, that wind got up yesterday over here pretty hard at times, and blowing that pollen everywhere there.
You couldn't run from it.
Yeah, I know it, but that's why I looked out and everything turned yellow looking. But maybe we'll get a little shower of rain and kind of wash some more of it off there. And
looks like the next chance is going to be Saturday. We might get about a 40% chance of that on Saturday. So we'll have to suffer through it till then.
Yeah, it looked like just maybe a little shower or two along. So, but maybe it won't be like last weekend anyway.
Yeah.
So won't have any of the storms with it. Well, Jim, that's about it up here this morning, and you take care, and y'all have a good day over there.
Thanks, Bob. I hope you do, too, and we'll check back in with you tomorrow.
All right.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. And you catch Bob most afternoons, too, the afternoon call-run report with Kevin Pleasant. It's 29 minutes after 7.
Cheryl, I've been talking to Tommy and David, the outside salesmen at Henson Building Materials in Forest City. They're going to help us navigate through our remodeling project.
Well, I know they have tons of experience, so we'll be in good hands.
Good hands is right. Even professional builders shop there because they trust the quality products and service.
And did you know they have a great relationship with our community, too? Oh, they're so nice.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street, Forest City.
Building starts here.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers of Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. They continue to strive hard to keep that honor. Come on in and see for yourself. Take a look at the all-new design 2021 F-150 or reserve an all-new 2021 Bronco coming in the spring. Don't miss out on the automobile you've been wanting at the Sisk Family Ford price. Take your pick while the picking is good on Oak Street in Forest City.
Locally owned, the Sisk Family Ford. Good folks. Good to do business with home folks. It's 7:30. Now let's head over toward the Cherry Mountain Fire District. That's where Sue Price is this morning. Sue, good morning.
Good morning, Tim.
You had your coffee already?
Not yet.
Okay, well.
I'm going to have some, though.
It'll come good.
Got the sun coming up. It's going to be another pretty morning over here. And looking forward to a good day. I didn't have any calls from the fire department. I have one birthday on my church calendar for Wes King, so I hope Wes is going to have a good day, and nothing on my personal calendar. Let's see. Fairview doesn't have anything today. And First Broad has birthdays for Lily Smith and Luke Tuttle, so I hope those folks will have a good day. I hope anybody that's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day. And in my announcements, Saturday, April 17th, barbecue, smoked chicken, and pulled pork, Ruatan Hopewell Hollis Clubhouse, 2500 Hollis Road, Ellenboro. And it's 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Adults are $10, children 6 to 12, $5. And it's takeout only. So go pick you up a good takeout box and enjoy it. They have a good meal there. And so far, I think that's the only announcement I have. Well, the Golden Valley Community Club will resume their regular meetings Monday, April 19th at 7 p.m. with a potluck supper and business meeting. So things are getting started back, and hope it's not too soon for everything, but we just take it as it comes and hope everything goes good.
I hope so. I think folks are ready for it to move forward now.
Yeah, hope it works out. And I guess that's all I have this morning, Jim. It's just quiet and calm, looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one.
Thanks, Sue. You enjoy your day as well. I'll see you next time.
All right. Bye-bye.
And we're going over to the Drop-In Family Mart here in just a few moments.
This is Gilbert. If you owe the IRS past due taxes, don't call those toll-free national numbers. Local, affordable help is right here in Rutherford County. Stop garnishments, levies, and liens. Call Gilbert Carmona at 828-289-9300. All initial consultations are free. Call Gilbert, 828-289-9300.
High school football Friday night is going to be a big one because it's all the way up in Murphy, long ways, about a 3-hour drive from here. There'll be some folks traveling up there to support the team, but there'll be a lot of folks who would like to go and can't, so we're offering you the services of WCAB. 100.9 FM will be broadcasting that game live from Murphy, and Jay Coombs will be there. Cliff will be there with him. 7 o'clock airtime, 7:30 kickoff, and should be a good and exciting game. Thomas Jefferson undefeated this season, now going into the playoffs. And we'll try to have that game. Now, I have a Braves game today, 11:05 airtime, 12:20 first pitch. We'll join that first pitch right after noon today. Attempting to get a hold of folks over at the Drop-In Family Mart this morning. Let us know what's going on over there. And while we do that, we'll do this.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Braves did not have a good night last night. They lost 6-5 in 10 innings. They thought they were going to pull that one out, but went into 10 innings. They ended up losing to the Marlins 6-5. Marlins beat them on Tuesday night 14-8, and they play again a daytime game. So maybe maybe the Braves can see the ball today and do something, home run or two, or 2 or 3 triples and doubles, or whatever it takes to get the win in. Well, we're unable to get in touch with the folks there at the Drop-In Family Mart. They're apparently busy, but you do know they do a great breakfast over there. Terrific breakfast, all kinds of bacon, sausage, liver mush, eggs, toast, biscuits, even breakfast pizza. Plus, they do a tremendous job with lunch. They got this best chicken I know of around here. So you need to try either breakfast or lunch or both. Or take some to work with you this morning. Run by there and get a bag of breakfast biscuits, and take them in and tell them this is from the Drop-In Family Mart over in Boston. They got great convenient hours for you. Plus, what I like about them also is they're so customer friendly. They'll help you take your groceries to the car if you have difficulty with that, and they'll pull them out and have them ready for you when you come if you want to do that as well. Just customer friendly, family run, locally owned Drop-In Family Mart, located right across from the post office in Boston. We're unable to get in touch with anybody this morning. They're very, very busy, and they are looking for some help over there. If you'd like to go to work, make some money part-time, why don't you contact them? It's great people to work for. They got a great company there. I know the family very well, and they are good people to work for. So contact Drop-In, either the corporate office there in Forest City, or go by the store there in Boston and tell them you'd like to go to work. They will find a way to put you to work real soon. So we're going to shift on over the mountain a little ways to Shingle Hollow Fire District, and Tina White's on the phone to give us an update from there. Good morning.
Good morning from Rutherford County.
To the U.S. of A.
To the U.S. of A. People who are streaming, what's the farthest that you've heard of them streaming and watching you?
Let me see. We got a call somewhere. It seemed like it's out Midwest, and I know there's a guy up in the Chicago area that tunes in from time to time, listens. Get a word from him. I'm not sure how. I wish we could get a record of folks that are listening somewhere else. Maybe send us a card or an email. Be good to know that, wouldn't it?
It would. It's very interesting.
Maybe have some folks in Brazil watching.
We might.
Yeah.
Well, 58 degrees up here in Shingle Hollow. The sun's peeking through, and it's so beautiful. I shouldn't say peeking through. It's very bright this morning. Shingle Hollow Fire Department didn't have any calls. They were quiet, and Green Hill was quiet as well. Birthdays, Piney Knob has Angie Searcy. Hope she has a wonderful birthday. Hope it's great for her. And nothing on Pleasant Grove. And right now there's no announcements, so we're kind of quiet up here.
What's the next big event coming up? Would that be Mother's Day, I guess, would be the next big event for churches to be involved with?
Right. Well, of course, Piney Knob does have Memorial Day and Mother's Day and Homecoming all in one, and they are planning a big service that day. Yeah. People come out, listen.
Good. All right.
My husband told me last night, he said, now, when you're on the radio in the morning, ask Jim where I can get some of those onions. I said, I already know where to get some onions, but I'll ask him.
Well, there's in a couple of places that you get them. You can get them at the headquarters, Republican headquarters there on Main Street. You can also call Robin Smith at 429-7822, or I can take the order right here at WCAB, any of those places. They'll be glad to accommodate you, and they are outstandingly good.
Right, and they last, too, to keep them in a cool, dry, dark place. They'll last a while.
They do.
So I usually get some, and I will call Robin in a little while. I know she's probably working, but maybe send her a text message and say, I need some of those onions.
There you go. She'll take care of you.
Well, you have a great day. Everybody have a great day out there in the listening range, and stay safe. And I'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Tina. You have a great day as well. I'll see you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. It's Tina White reporting out of the Shingle Hollow Fire District. Well, it's one of those places that folks have grown to appreciate over the years. It's Joy's Bridal Shop in the Tri-City Mall, one of those fine stores there in the mall. And if people who have had weddings and proms and special events over the years have depended on Joy to get them fixed up and dressed up nicely. And there's still a real opportunity for you to do the same thing. You got an array of beautiful clothes, bridal clothes, clothes for the groom and groomsmen and the bridesmaids. And they do have an altering shop. They can do all that altering for you as well, plus a tremendous array of jewelry. Whether you got a special event coming up or if you just like jewelry, go by Joy's Bridal and look at the jewelry and tell Joy I sent you over there. If you want to pay a bill like your utility bill, your telephone bill, or others, they have an array of places you can pay. Some of the big department stores, you can pay your bills through there. So it's really a versatile place and friendly place, and you'll love doing business with Joy. Joy's Bridal, she's right here at home. She's one of the local folks, too, we like to support, so do the same thing. Joy's Bridal right there in the Tri-City Mall. All right, let's go to Union Mills now. That's where we'll find the home of Brenda Kelly up on the mountain. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you on this tremendous Thursday morning?
I feel really good. How about you?
I feel good, except I can't hardly breathe with these allergies. That wind blowed yesterday, and I had the doors open and the windows open, and I got up this morning, I can't hardly breathe.
I know what you mean.
It's aggravating, ain't it? I got to get me some more. I was taking that Benadryl for allergy and congestion, and I'd done took them all, so I need to go back and get me some more. As long as I take that, I do all right.
Yeah. Well, this will pass. This too will pass. It'll be summertime here pretty soon.
Oh, yeah.
The pollen will be behind us, we hope.
Yeah, that's right.
Does the fall of the year affect you any at all?
No, the fall's not as bad as this time of the year. Mm-hmm. But now my son, Timothy, it bothers him worse in the fall than it does now.
Yeah.
But both my daughters have it, too, and theirs is worse now than in the fall of the year. So it's just something else. The people that don't have allergies better be thankful, hadn't they?
Better be thankful, that's for sure.
And I'm like you. Somebody that steal a picture of Jesus is really brave.
Yep. They have no heart to start with. They wouldn't be stealing people's property to start with.
Well, that's exactly right. But let's see, I've got 48 degrees on the front porch this morning. I don't have any birthdays or any anniversaries. And in ways of announcements, for rent, Union Mills Community House. This is at 6097 Hudlow Road. Need a family-friendly setting for birthday party, graduation party, reunion, wedding reception. This is the place. $75 a day, $25 to set up the day before. For information, you can call Kay Briscoe at 223-6130 or Christine Ammons at 748-2669. And then we got Springtime in the Mill, Saturday, April the 24th, starts at 9 a.m. Over 50 vendors and food trucks, free admission. Safety guidelines followed. Raffle tickets for sale, $1 each or 6 for $5. First prize is a Blackstone griddle. Second prize is spring-themed wheelbarrow combo, and third prize is a beach-themed cooler combo. And prizes are sponsored by Pritchard Heated and Cooling, and you do not have to be present to win. And other than that, that's all I got.
Sounds like some nice prizes.
It is. I've got to get me some tickets, but most of the time I just stay right here on this little mountain.
Brenda's Mountain.
Yeah.
That's what we need to call it, Brenda's Mountain.
No, we call it Kelly's Mountain.
Kelly's Mountain, okay.
Yeah, we'll call it Kelly Mountain, because if it hadn't been for the Kelly, I wouldn't have got it.
Yeah, there you go. And we can make you Irish and call it O'Kelly.
Well, yeah. There you go.
You're not Irish, are you?
No, I'm Italian, and something else. I don't know what the other is, but I do know I'm Italian because my mother was a Manfredo.
Oh yeah, okay.
That's very Italian.
And you love spaghetti.
I love any kind of food, except as long as you don't put no mayonnaise about it. But I love spaghetti, and I like it spicy. It don't matter to me, I like it. So that's good. Yeah.
Well, I hope you enjoy your Thursday, and I'll check back in with you tomorrow.
You have a good one. Catch you later.
Thanks. Bye-bye. And we'll get Ellenborough here in just a moment after we say good morning to Andrew Tisdale. Good morning.
Good morning. The impact COVID-19 has had on our community has caused many changes. And some of these changes is our jobs. If your job situation is changing because of a layoff or restructuring, you may have to make several decisions. One of these decisions is what to do with your retirement plan. Let's make sure that your investment plan stays on track and doesn't derail your retirement ideas. Hi, I'm Andrew Tisdale from Rutherford, your Edward Jones financial advisor, and I would love to help you. Please give us a call at 828-287-9197. Our office is located in the Food Line Plaza in Rutherford. Edward Jones, making sense of investing, and member of the SIPC. Bye.
All right, let's say hello to Luther Gilligan. He's in Ellenboro, telling us what's happening over there. Luther, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great this morning. Enjoying the coffee,
Good.
Watching the sun come up.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Going to be a good day in the neighborhood.
Yes, sir.
But it's quiet there, and not a whole lot going on. People just head out to work, get another day in. You see, the fire department, they had 2 fire calls yesterday. They had one about 12 o'clock, 12:30 there. They had one about 8 o'clock last night. They had 4 o'clock yesterday. One up 7:30 last night. Then about 3:30 this morning, had a medical call. But they're quiet right now. Nothing going on with them. So everything's quiet there. So you have a great day up there, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
I'll be good. You be good. I'll see you then.
All right, take care now.
Bye. And that leaves us time for birthdays for this 15th day of the month, April the 15th. If you are celebrating a birthday or an anniversary, call it to us, and we will celebrate with you. We love celebrating your birthday and giving you a big shout-out. So call now at 287-3356, 287-3356. Todd's standing by to take that call for birthdays and anniversaries. And wouldn't it be nice to get medical attention and not have to leave your home? Now you can, thanks to Remote MD. Remote MD is pleased to announce they have initiated a telemedicine program for residents in North Carolina. The telemedicine program is available to all residents in North Carolina, including Rutherford and Polk counties. It is designed to treat common medical illnesses right from your home. Now, isn't that great? No appointment is necessary, no waiting for days to see someone. This is a wonderful opportunity for people who are struggling financially or have a complicated insurance plan. But your health is important to you, and you want attention now. There are no copays or deductible, and unlimited usage programs start at just $59.99 a month. Learn more about this program. Contact Remote MD today at www.remotemd.net. Again, that's www.remotemd.net.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance, helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
That's really something to crow about. It's the Daylight Donuts from Granny B's in Spindale. Get yours today while they're fresh. They're good. They're delicious. It's Daylight Donuts. It's something to crow about. Granny B's new summer hours are Tuesday through Saturday, 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., and also now serving pizza.
Happy birthday.
Well, happy birthday wishes going out to Stephen Matheny down in the Caroline area. Stephen Matheny works over at Isothermal. Happy birthday, Stephen. Ricky Henson over in Danieltown also having a birthday. And a special congratulations anniversary wish to Todd and Karen Kaiser, 26 years. Been living together. Boston, North Carolina is where they reside. Todd says we're married. We're not actually living together, but living together as a married couple. 26 years. So congratulations to them. Stand by for Keys to Confident Living, and then we'll have some golden oldies to bring back the memories. So right here on WCAB.
these days when some are suggesting that any reference to God and prayer are unconstitutional and should be eliminated from public life or at least government life, it is important to go back and see how our founding fathers viewed the subject. One quickly discovers that God, the Bible, and prayer were a very significant part of their lives. An example is found in notes from one of the early conventions. A convention was called in 1787 in America to revise the Articles of Confederation. For weeks, delegates reviewed the ancient history and analyzed governments of modern Europe in search of insights. But nothing suited the circumstances of this infant nation. Finally, one of the distinguished gentlemen, Benjamin Franklin, addressed the group. Referring to their meager progress, he said, "In this situation of this assembly, groping as it were in the dark to find political truth, and scarce able to distinguish it when it is presented to us, how has it happened that we have not hitherto once thought of humbly applying to the Father of lights to illuminate our understandings?" A season of prayer followed. Faced with critical public issues and threatening foreign involvement, we would do well to consider the advice of Benjamin Franklin. Rather than groping in the darkness for answers, we need to petition the Father of light for the truth. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living.
WCAB, the music's on us.
Good morning. Good morning.
Your 2021 Atlanta Braves are ready to defend their division crown and take Atlanta baseball fans on another fun ride.
And it's hit in the air to right field and deep. Conforto going back at the wall. It's gone! Marcell Ozuna to the opposite field has tied the game in the ninth.
And join us as we bring you another exciting season of Atlanta Braves baseball right here on your home for the Braves. We are 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB, Rutherfordton.
Afghanistan today, less than 24 hours after President Biden formally announced the full withdrawal of U.S. troops by September 11th. Blinken meeting with Afghan leaders in Kabul, saying the U.S. will remain an ally.
We have a partnership that is changing but enduring.
Some lawmakers and intelligence officials are voicing concern that the move to leave Afghanistan will create a vacuum for more violence. ABC's Cecilia Vega has more.
We've been talking about this pushback there from Republicans, particularly on Capitol Hill, who say that this could potentially erase decades of gains in the region. The White House says that the president asked for a non-sugar-coated assessment of the situation on the ground, and that is how he came to this decision.
The White House is expected to announce new sanctions against Russia today for orchestrating the SolarWinds cyber hacking of U.S. government agencies and corporations, along with continued meddling in U.S. elections. Just outside Minneapolis, a fourth night of protests over the fatal police shooting of 20-year-old Dante Wright this week. The Brooklyn Center, Minnesota police officer accused in that shooting will make her initial court appearance today. That as the murder trial resumes in the death of George Floyd. ABC's Alex Stone is in Brooklyn Center.
Tension around Minneapolis is extremely high, and today when former officer Kim Potter appears in court, she'll be just 1 block away from where the Derek Chauvin trial is underway. Both officers in courtrooms accused of killing unarmed black men.
A CDC panel says it will take another week to review 6 cases of blood clots reported in women who received the Johnson & Johnson COVID-19 vaccine. The FDA pause continues. The World Health Organization says Europe has surpassed 1 million deaths from COVID-19, and the situation remains serious. And in the next hour, the Labor Department will release jobless claims figures from this past week. You're listening to ABC News.
How clean is your nose? Most airborne germs and allergens invade through the nose, your body's air filter. It's first line of defense. You wash your hands and brush your teeth, but what about your nose? Did you know there's an easy way to keep your nose clean and help your body protect itself? It's called Navage Nasal Care. Navage uses powered suction to clean your nose by flushing out pollen, mucus, bacteria, and viruses. Millions use Navage for fast, all-natural relief from sinus congestion and allergies, and to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Navage is easy to use, affordable, and it comes with an absolute guarantee of satisfaction. And 50,000 independent online reviews averaging 4.7 stars show just how much people love their Navage. You wash your hands and brush your teeth every day. Now you can clean your nose and help protect your health with Navage. At Navage.com, CVS, Walgreens, Bed Bath & Beyond, Target, and Rite Aid. Navage. N-A-V-A-G-E. Make good nasal hygiene your new normal with Navage. Clean nose, healthy life.
It is not expected to go far, but a group of congressional Democrats today expected to introduce a bill increasing the size of the Supreme Court from 9 to 13. Critics call it court packing. President Biden had announced plans for a commission to study the issue. Right now, conservatives hold a 6-3 advantage on the high court. The House Judiciary Committee has approved a measure that will create a commission to study reparations for the descendants of slaves. The bill first introduced in the House more than 30 years ago by late Congressman John Conyers. Today is one Boston Day, 8 years since the deadly bombing at the finish line of the Boston Marathon. ABC's Aaron Katursky has more.
Martin Richard would be eligible for his learner's permit by now. He was 8 when 2 backpack bombs detonated near the finish line of the marathon, killing him, Lou Lingzi, and Crystal Campbell. One Boston Day is meant to honor their memories and the memory of MIT police officer Sean Collier, who was killed during the manhunt for the bombers, through acts of kindness. The surviving bomber, Johar Tsarnaev, could see his death sentence reinstated after the U.S. Supreme Court agreed to hear the government's appeal. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York.
New Hampshire lawmakers considering a bill that would make it illegal to leave the scene of an accident where a cat is killed. There's already a law on the books that requires drivers who hit a dog to notify police or the owner. This is ABC News.
O'Reilly Auto Parts is here to keep your car on the road with the right parts, advice from our parts professionals, and our free loaner tool program. Your local store has more than 80 specialty tools available for your next repair. Refundable deposit required. Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts and ask about our free loaner tool program or visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Michelle Franz in ABC News.
When you get a hankering for lunch, remember Jesse James Railroad Express.
They have a menu full of delicious items such as burgers, chicken salad croissants, fresh salads, hot dogs, taco salads, and much, much more. Don't forget the refreshing drinks like milkshakes, Coke floats, or hand-dipped ice cream. They are now serving French fries and onion rings. Hours are Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. until 4 p.m., closed Wednesdays and Sundays. For takeout, give them a call at 828-447-4644, located at 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherford. Don't forget, Mondays only, 99-cent hot dogs with mustard, chili, and onions. That's Jesse James of Railroad Express. All aboard!
Hello and happy Thursday. We'll see a mostly cloudy sky becoming partly cloudy to mostly sunny at times this late afternoon and evening. Temperatures will be quite pleasant today with highs in the upper 60s and low 70s. It'll feel less humid later today. Getting quite chilly though overnight tonight. We'll see a mostly clear sky. We start in the upper 30s and low 40s Friday morning. Friday afternoon we'll see a mostly sunny sky. Highs in the mid to upper 60s and near 70. Some rain showers for Saturday. I'm meteorologist Zach Moloch in the Weather Center.
Well, we have a beautiful day shaping up here in the foothills. Right now we're sunny skies, and we're up to 60 degrees. On our way 9 more degrees. We'll be at our high today, 69, and some partly cloudy skies, but wind maybe gusting to about 19 miles per hour today. But otherwise, a beautiful, beautiful day in the neighborhood. Another great getting up morning, as we like to say. If you're not up and at 'em just yet, come on, crawl out. Let's get at it. We've got a lot to pack in this hour. And so we're going to do that. We're going to have some engineering things going on this morning as well. So 9:05 it'll be My Great America with Jim and Butch. So you don't want to miss a thing. If you tune out, you may miss the popping and the cracking of the transmitter or whatever it is this morning. But we're working on engineers here, so we may be going in and out some today. So just bear with us till we get some of those kinks worked out. Seems like it comes in bunches sometimes, like bananas. Bananas we can eat and destroy and throw away. These problems, sometimes we have a difficult finding where they are, but we'll get there. Some news from here and there right after this.
Hey y'all, Joellen here. I'm here to invite you to Rutherford County's second annual 420 celebration. My Green Room is Rutherford County's first and only cannabis dispensary. We are located at 195 West Main Street in Spindale. My Green Room will be hosting the celebration of the world-famous cannabis holiday 420. We will be starting the celebration on Monday, April 19th and ending on Willie Nelson's birthday, April 29th. We will have door prizes, special discounts, new products, and of course, infused goodies. My Green Room is home to North Carolina's first cannabis smoking bar. The Bud Bar and Lounge will be open 11 to 6 on 420 with COVID precautions in place. My Green Room carries the highest quality CBD, Delta-8 THC, and Kratom. Dr. Roland D. Doobie will be making special appearances. My Green Room offers discount cards including 30% off for veterans and active military. Are you curious about hemp, CBD, Delta-8 THC, or Kratom? Come visit My Green Room for some education and fun. We have been part of Rutherford County since 2018, and we are excited to serve you for many more years. We'll see you at My Green Room soon. Happy 420. As always, keep it hempy.
Some news from here and there. Now let's look at this story. The Rutherford County Sheriff's Office is requesting the public's assistance in locating Ashley Taylor Flack and her 9-month-old daughter, Gabrielle Flack. Flack is 29 years old, white female, who was last seen in the early morning hours of April 14th, 2021 in Union Mills. Flack may be driving a 1994 four-door Pontiac Bonneville bearing NC registration plate T as in Tony, F as in Fay, B as in Boyd, TFB 3649. Flack may be wearing black leggings with a gray and pink sweatshirt. If you have information on this whereabouts of these two, Flack and her daughter, please contact the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office at 828-286-2911. Our Crime Stoppers at 828-286-8477. Sheriff Chris Francis talks about this a little bit in his report coming up later on this hour. Meanwhile, the Rutherford County Board of Education adopted its local budget request, which will be submitted to the Rutherford County Commissioners. According to Heidi Kearns, Rutherford County School Finance Director, the school system is in good shape financially, enabling the local budget request to be smaller than originally anticipated. The 2021-2022 local current expense appropriation request for is $15,724,201. This represents a 2% increase of the prior year appropriation, according to Kearns. This is an increase of $308,318 and is attributable to non-state funded salary and fringe benefit increases. Approximately 17% of the total Rutherford County school budget is the local current expense fund. Local school systems are funded through a combination of federal, state, and local government entities, as well as other private grants. Rutherford County leaders are scheduled to meet with the county commissioners Monday, April 19th at noon to formally present the school system's budget request. Meanwhile, the leadership of the Rutherford County Schools began planning for a robust summer school program several months ago. Now that the state government approved legislation mandating the program, local leaders believe they will be ready. The legislation requiring the summer program was first introduced in February and signed by Governor Roy Cooper on Friday, April the 9th. Assistant Superintendent Renee Collins updated the Board of Education on the summer school plans last Tuesday night at their meeting. I thought they had a meeting on Tuesday night. Did not get the report from them, but I think they met. The on-campus summer school program will run from June 1st to July 13th. Monday through Thursday will be open to any kindergarten through high school student who may be at risk of failure or not making sufficient progress. The summer program is not required, but parents of eligible students will be contacted by school officials explaining this option. If you have any questions concerning this summer school program, contact the Rutherford County Board of Education. They'll be happy to explain all that to you. Well, we've had a business ownership change in Rutherford County. Friendship Automotive Enterprises has now purchased McCurry Deck. McCurry Deck is now among Friendship's number of automotive dealerships. The purchases was finalized Tuesday following an official announcement Wednesday. Dustin Walters, Chief Operating Officer of Friendship Automotive Enterprises, said this is thrilling to add Chevrolet Buick GMC to our family of dealerships. It has always been a company goal to include General Motors in our line of business because of the connection the company has to our family. My great-grandfather founded Walters Chevrolet in 1926, so we are coming full circle in 2021. The new name will be Friendship Chevrolet GMC Buick. This is not the first time Friendship has made a purchase from McCurry Deck. In June of 2014, Friendship purchased McCurry Deck Nissan. So McCurry Deck offered Buick, Pontiac, and GMC models since 1976. The acquisition now ends a long-running dealership in McCurry Deck. McCurry Deck started in 1966 with Buick after several years being in the used car business. The business started as McCurry Used Cars by Leonard McCurry. Kenneth Deck joined the business and a short time later became a partner. The name was changed to McCurry Deck in 1966. In 1976, McCurry Deck moved to its present location. It was the only business between Isothermal Community College and the Tri-City Mall. McCurry Deck offered Buick, Pontiac, and GMC models since 1976. It also sold Cadillac for 10 years after acquiring the franchise from Sparky's. The dealership added Chevrolet in 2013. Paul Deck said, I'm very excited about joining Friendship Automotive, having known Mitch Walters for the last 7 years, and believe we will be able to grow even more with being acquired. Friendship Automotive Enterprise has grown into 26 franchises in 17 locations. Friendship employs approximately 400 people. With this purchase of Friendship buying McCurry Deck, that leaves Sisk Family Ford the only locally owned new car dealer in the county. Well, in the wake of the Johnson & Johnson vaccine pause, the North Carolina Health and Human Services is following Tuesday's recommendations by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. The recommendation follows 6 reported cases of a rare type of blood clot in individuals after receiving the J&J vaccine. Nationally, more than 6.8 million people have received the J&J shot, 242,762 in North Carolina. None of the 6 cases reported were in North Carolina. According to state officials, these adverse events appear to be extremely rare. However, the vast majority of people who receive the J&J shot will only experience the expected temporary reactions like soreness of arm and feeling achy or tired for a day or two. Mild headaches and flu-like symptoms in the first few days after the vaccination can be expected and are not associated with even more serious concerns. They have taken the J&J off the market for a period of time. I've stalled the use of it for a period of time. Well, as we begin to see things opening up around our county, Pops reopens with a May concert. After more than a year of no concerts, no large gatherings, Forest City Pops, that's the pavilion on Park Square, is hosting country music's breakout stars, Parmalee and Dirty Grass Soul. The concert will be Friday, May 14th at 7 o'clock. Tickets go on sale Friday. Pops has been cleared to open with a reduced capacity currently set at 1,250. Courtney Ashley, Forest City Marketing and Events Coordinator, says everyone on the Forest City team is excited to welcome guests back to Pops. Last time Pops hosted a concert at full capacity was in October 2019 when Sammy Kershaw performed. There were no concerts in 2020. A few smaller events like the Pumpkin Patch in the fall and a few things like yoga, but we haven't been able to have concerts, she said. Ashley is hopeful that as the pandemic continues to wane, guidelines will continue to loosen, allowing more people to attend events. So good deal for this area, that things are beginning to open up a little bit. No outside food and beverages are allowed inside Pops, but there will be food trucks from local vendors and a concession stand featuring pizza, nachos, popcorn, candy, soda, beer, and wine. Ashley expects a good turnout for this event. Well, if they have a good turnout, maybe they'll open up everything. Maybe the foundation will start opening up and other events, and we can get back to reality one more time. We hope so anyway. 17 minutes after 8 o'clock, the Sheriff's Report with Sheriff Chris Francis comes up here in just a few.
Smith's Drugs of Forest City is taking appointment times for the COVID-19 vaccination. There are two ways to schedule an appointment. First, go to our website at www.smithsdrugsfc.com and click on the COVID-19 vaccination tab. Then fill out the consent form, choose your group, and at that time you'll be able to choose an available appointment time. Second, you can just call our pharmacy to schedule an appointment time and we can help you fill out the consent form over the phone. We also at times do have some vaccines available later in the evening, and these are posted on Facebook when we do. If you have any questions or concern, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
For a delicious meal every day, call on Gregory's Original. Choose from their top menu of burgers, subs, grinders, pasta dishes, fresh salads, and so much more. All dishes are prepared fresh daily. Hours are Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. until 9 p.m., Saturday, noon until 9 p.m. Now at Gregory's, try the family-style meals. The dining room is now open, but curbside and takeout is still available. Enjoy lunch or dinner today with your favorite meal from Gregory's. Call 287-2171, located in the Park Lane Plaza in Rutherford's Gregory's Original.
Well, the Burt Chimney Gifts and Decor now has a beautiful new location, 167 East Main Street in Forest City, just a few doors up from the Fudge Shop. They still have the same gorgeous merchandise with more added vendors, candles and vintage glassware, a children's boutique, Chloe's Gourmet Cupboard, Mutt Creek Custom Signs, Sunshine Gifts and Decor, and Designs by Candace. You'll still find handmade jewelry, reloved furniture pieces, wooden flags, plaques, open Tuesday, Wednesday, Saturday 10 to 6, Thursday and Friday 10 to 8. Stop in soon to Burnt Chimney Gifts and Decor, now at 167 East Main Street in Forest City, just a few doors up from the Fudge Shop.
And it's always fun to have a yard sale when there's a lot of items that you can go to and really enjoy shopping. Well, this is the kind that's coming up. Huge yard sale this Saturday, April the 17th, 8 a.m. until 2 p.m. Vintage items, collectibles, furniture, creative memories, sewing items, crafts, kitchenware, home decor, and much, much more. So get your gang together and go yard shopping. Saturday, located at 180 North Oak Street in Spindale. That's this Saturday, 8 a.m. until 2 o'clock. No early birds, please. Starts at 8 o'clock, so please be there and shop, shop, shop. Make it a big, big day for you. It should be fun doing that. We'll have that Sheriff's Report coming up here in just a few moments. And remember, Braves baseball this afternoon. And we have high school football Friday night coming up from Murphy, North Carolina. Jay Coombs and going to travel up there and have a broadcast game right back here to you. So thank you for making that possible, for our sponsors who are supportive of this, and let that game be broadcast live here on 100.9 FM and also on our web at WCAB, www.wcb59.com. Here now is Sheriff Chris Francis with their report.
In the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 150 calls of service. There have been 14 arrests processed at our county jail. Currently incarcerated, we have 141. Among those arrested, Ronald Brandon Green, 40-year-old male of Ellenboro, was charged on child support non-support warrants, received a $1,000 cash bond. Brandon Marquez Hamilton, 35-year-old male of Mooresboro, was charged with driving while licensed revoked, failure to appear, and possession of Schedule II narcotics, and received a $5,000 secure bond. Lexus Sierra Watson, 19-year-old female of Mooresboro, was charged with 2 counts of injury to property, received a written promise to appear. Jonathan Ray Hernandez, 31-year-old male of Greenville, South Carolina, was charged with failure to appear and received a $500 secure bond. Kinley Jane Connor, 26-year-old female of Ellenboro, was charged with communicating threats. In our instance, we had a larceny on Soco Gap Road. There was a 5-bay U-Haul trailer, enclosed trailer, valued at $10,000, displaying the Oklahoma tag of 234R4 that they did not show that had been rented, and they could not locate it when they did the inventory, so it was reported stolen or missing. We also have a missing person on Barnes Road in Union Mills. Ashley Taylor Flack. She's a 29-year-old female. She's 5'3", approximately 160 pounds, with brown hair and blue eyes. Also, her 9-month-old baby, Gabriella Rochelle Flack, who also has blue eyes and light brown hair, were reported missing yesterday when Ashley's mother, whom they both live with, woke up approximately 6 o'clock and was unable to locate them. They possibly are in a 1994 Pontiac Bonneville, gray in color, displaying a tag of TFB3649. And Ashley's mother did show some concerns that this was, unlike her, not to know where her daughter and granddaughter were, and did show a lot of concern and report her missing. So Ashley's not in trouble, but we would just like to make sure she's okay and get some relief for her mother, knowing that she is okay. We also had a break-in and entering and larceny on Pea Ridge Road in Boston. It was a 32-inch flat-screen TV valued at $100, Bluetooth speakers valued at $100, and a picture that portrayed Jesus valued at $50 that was taken in that instant. Then we also had a Pamela Jackson LeGrand, 56-year-old black female that previously had been reported missing, that we put out information on. She was last seen in a blue button-up T-shirt and blue jeans, last seen on Tuesday, April the 13th. Also, we'd like information on her. If anyone knows where Miss Pamela Jackson LeGrand is, they could feel free to contact us at 286-2911 or 286-8477, which is our Crime Stoppers number, 286-8477. Again, Miss LeGrand is also not in trouble, but her family would like to know that she's okay. Jim, that's what we had to report today.
Thanks, Sheriff Chris Francis, for that report. It's about 20 seconds away from the sports update, and we'll be back with more stuff on the bottom of the hour here at WCAB. Braves baseball today at noon, a little after noonish. We'll start with that Braves game with the Marlins right here on WCAB, Braves Sports Station for the Foothills.
NCN Sports, I'm Josh Zach.
To third, Moncada. Carlos Rodon has thrown a no-hitter.
Jason Benetti with the call on NBC Sports as the White Sox pitcher Rodon produced Major League Baseball's second no-hitter in 5 days in last night's 8-0 decision against Cleveland. The only thing keeping the Holly Springs High School alum and former NC State star from a perfect game was when he hit Roberto Perez on the shoe top in the 9th inning. He talked about it after the game with NBC Sports Chicago.
Where's your mind right now, Carlos?
On a toe ball? No, man, that was awesome. Full team effort. There were some big plays made at short. I mean, you go through that game, there's quite a few plays that led to this result.
The North Carolina product was drafted by Milwaukee in 2011, but he opted to attend NC State. There, he went 9-0 in his first season and became the first freshman to be named ACC Pitcher of the Year. In 2013, he led the Wolfpack to their first College World Series since 1968. The Hornets continue to struggle with consistency as their lineup remains a patchwork. Last night, Cleveland handed Charlotte their third straight loss, 103-90. Terry Rozier had 22 points, and Miles Bridges added 20 in the loss. Major college football and basketball players will be permitted to transfer one time before graduating without being required to sit out a year of competition starting next year. The NCAA D1 Council voted yesterday to change the longstanding rule that was to deter the players in high-profile sports from switching schools. Meanwhile, Duke forward Matthew Hurt is declaring for the NBA draft and intends to hire an agent following a breakout sophomore season in which he became the ACC's top scorer. He averaged 18.6 points in conference play and ranked second in the conference in shooting, 56%. This is NCN Sports.
With Mitsubishi Electric's ductless heating and air conditioning systems, any home, any building, anywhere can have zoned or room-by-room temperature control, so you can cool the home office without cooling the whole house. And because they're ductless, you can finish your basement without adding ductwork. Did we mention they're also up to 40% more efficient than conventional systems? Upgrade to comfort without compromise. To learn more, text COMFORT-NC to 41300.
Hi, I'm Christian McCaffrey, and I want to let everyone know that registration is now open for the Body Armor State Games this June. Athletes of all ages and skill levels can compete in more than 25 different sports. The Body Armor State Games feature 12,000 athletes and 600 teams. Don't miss out on North Carolina's largest sports festival of the year. Visit bodyarmorstategames.org today. Let the Body Armor State Games begin. For more information, visit bodyarmorstategames.org.
Today is the day when Major League Baseball celebrates one of its most important pioneers.
He first played in the majors with Brooklyn on this date in 1947.
Each year on April 15th, the Dodger organization and Major League Baseball honor a true American hero, Jackie Robinson.
MLB teams will honor the first African-American major leaguer with all players wearing his number 42. And all ballparks will show an MLB-produced video called Thank You, Jackie. There will be other ballpark presentations as well as a huge social media presence, youth activities, mostly virtual, sponsored by each major league team. Peter King, CBS News.
The Carolina Hurricanes are coming off of a rare 3-day break and are back in action tonight in Raleigh to open a 2-game set with Nashville. Josh, Zach, NCN Sports.
Hello and happy Thursday. We'll see a mostly cloudy sky becoming partly cloudy to mostly sunny at times this late afternoon and evening. Temperatures will be quite pleasant today with highs in the upper 60s and low 70s. It'll feel less humid later today. Getting quite chilly though overnight tonight. We'll see a mostly clear sky. We start in the upper 30s and low 40s Friday morning. Friday afternoon we'll see a mostly sunny sky. Highs in the mid to upper 60s and near 70. Some rain showers for Saturday. I'm meteorologist Zach Molak in the Weather Center.
Beautiful day shaping up here for us in the foothills. If you have not yet risen out of the bed, do that and go look outside. It's a beautiful, beautiful day in the neighborhood. Here at WCAB, we have a lot of sports this weekend. A lot of sports today. Braves at 12. We have Braves today at 12:20 first pitch. We'll join that following noon, and then high school football playoffs on Friday night. Thomas Jefferson Classical Academy travels up to Murphy High School. That's a 7 o'clock airtime for the pregame 7:30 kickoff. And that should be a great night for high school football up in the mountains. And we pulling for our Griffins all the way to the state championship this year. Been a good ride for Coach Cash down there, and hope he has a great year this year and take it all the way to the championship. We'll see how that works out, and we'll go with them as far as they can go. Got some other stories here. I thought this one was quite interesting here. You remember when the U.S. Capitol, the rioters invaded the U.S. Capitol there in last January? Well, Nancy Pelosi, the Speaker of the House, said if the rioters who invaded the U.S. Capitol last January had caught up with, she was prepared to fight back, even if it meant using her spiked heels as weapons. You know, Nancy Pelosi was going to fight off that crowd with her spiked heels. That's what she said. She said in an interview with the USA Today published Tuesday, she said, well, I'm pretty tough. I'm a street fighter. They would have had a battle on their hands with my spiked heels, I guess. Maybe that's why everybody's afraid of her up in Washington. They're afraid of her spiked heels, and they're afraid to cross her. Displaying her 4-inch high stilettos to her interviewer, Pelosi joked that I would have had these to use as weapons. Speaker Pelosi said she was never afraid for herself, but Speaker Pelosi also said that she will never forget the rioters who traumatized the other House members and her staff. She said, I was never personally afraid because I had so much security for myself. I was afraid for everybody else, and I'll never forgive them the trauma that they caused to the staff and the members. It's a good old Nancy Pelosi. If a war ever breaks out, I want Nancy Pelosi to be by my side with her stiletto heels. She'll take care of all of us. Yes, she will. All right. Let's see what else. You know, we talk a lot about honesty in news reporting. I remember coming through college and my journalism teacher said, always, if you report the news, report the facts. They should never know which side of the dish you're eating from. And I've always remembered that. Be accurate in reporting the news. Now, if you're a commentator or a talk show and you have you're commenting or do an editorial kind of thing, then that's different. Rush was not a newsman. Sean Hannity is not a newsman. They're talk show hosts. They're journalists, conservative journalists. But when it comes to NBC and Lester Holt, who anchors NBC, longtime NBC news anchor, is one of the many journalists, editors, news anchors, and talk show hosts. It was at an award meeting the other night, and he said that journalists should follow a different model, according to Holt. He, in essence, claiming that confronting bias should be the gold standard in journalism, that reporters and correspondents should not be lending credibility to anything that would appear to cast doubt or they have already decided is true. He said nobody should be allowed to question the media. I guess what he's saying is they should be so straight down the middle that you would never wonder which side they're on. But he certainly has not demonstrated that. I think it's become clear that fairness is overrated. That's what he said. The idea that we should always give two sides equal weight and merit does not reflect the world we find ourselves in. Well, who started that? I mean, I remember you never knew who Huntley and Brinkley was. They reported the news. Walter Cronkite reported the news, and that's the way it is. But now you got folks that are stimulating news. And I'll give you a story here in just a moment about how I know that CNN is notorious for that. As an example, Lester Holt, he said, the establishment media is outraged by the fact that Georgia's new election law prohibits anyone from providing water to people standing in line at a polling place. If Holt's argument is to be applied this story, then no newspaper, website, or TV news channel should allow any time or column inches to anyone who disputes this supposedly established fact. Yet the Georgia law explicitly allows for the provision of water to people who are lining up to vote is not permitted to approach someone in line, but water can be given to polling staff who can best then distribute it to those who need it. There are too many cases where people elaborate on a story, take just a few words out of a headline, then everybody goes with it. And Facebook, of course, is notorious for that. You read a headline. But why do I say that news is biased? CNN, remember when they first established, Ted Turner first established the 24-hour news channel, and we thought, well, that's be a good source. They cover everything. They won't be biased. But, boy, they have turned the other side right now. Here's a story from, let's see, I believe this is from Veritas. A CNN director, he said, quote, "We worked to oust Trump. We create propaganda, use fear to pass climate agenda." Now, this is a CNN director who's saying this. James O'Keefe, who is Project Veritas, doing a great job of releasing explosive videos on the abortion machine. He showed CNN technical director Charlie Chester admitting that the network worked to get President Donald Trump out of office and that the network creates propaganda on issues that they know little about. He says, look what we did. We, CNN, got Trump out. I'm 100% going to say it, and I'm 100% believe that if it wasn't for CNN, I don't know that Trump would have gotten voted out. He says, I came to CNN because I wanted to be a part of that. It's going to be our CNN focus, like our focus was to get Trump out of office, right? Without saying it, that's what it was, right? So our next thing is going to be climate change awareness. On CNN, creating propaganda to damage Trump, Chester said, was a big thing for them. Trump's hand was shaking or whatever, I think. We brought in so many medical people to tell a story that was all speculation, that he was neurologically damaged and he was losing it. This is CNN creating this story now. They brought in medical people to tell the story that was all speculation, to say that Donald Trump was unfit, whatever. We were creating a story that we didn't know anything about. That's what I think, that's propaganda. And yet the American people are swallowing it day by day, 24/7. On having a predetermined agenda to cover climate change and to use fear to sell it, this CNN director said, I think there's a COVID fatigue. So like whenever a news story comes up, there's CNN's going to latch onto it. They've already announced in our office that once the public will be open to it, we're going to start focusing mainly on climate. He goes on to say, I have a feeling that it's going to be like constantly showing videos of decline in ice, weather warming up, and like the effects it's having on the economy. And the poor polar bear that's lost on an iceberg over there somewhere that didn't happen. Remember that back in Al Gore's day? Climate change is the next pandemic-like story that will beat to death, he says. CNN director says. But that one's got longevity. You know what I mean? Like there's a definitive ending to the pandemic. It'll taper off to a point that it's not a problem anymore. Climate change can take years, so CNN will probably be able to milk that quite a bit. These are his words, not mine. Be prepared, it's coming. Climate change is going to be like the next COVID thing for CNN. When asked if CNN was going to use fear to push their agenda, Chester said, yeah, fear sells. Project Veritas said their release was the only first part of the three of their new round of damaging undercover videos of CNN employees. They've been proven time and time again to wrap a story around their own agenda to make it fake news, as Donald Trump used to call it. MSNBC did the same thing. CNN became notorious with Don Lemon and Anderson Cooper and the governor of New York's brother. They just turn it the way they want to, and they keep hounding. People start believing it. I heard on CNN this. I heard on CNN that the Earth's burning up because of climate change. And on we go. This CNN director admitting that they send out propaganda. They shouldn't be, if they're a legitimate news organization, they shouldn't be doing that. It should be an honest, above board, something we could look at and hear and depend on it to be the truth as best they understand it. But they're making it up as they go, folks. They're making it up as they go, which really makes me want to scream and yell from the rooftop, but I won't do that. Well, Facebook has released our latest Global State of Small Business report, which reveals the ongoing crisis facing small businesses and new challenges ahead. In addition to understanding these challenges on a national level, we surveyed North Carolina small business to better understand how the COVID-19 pandemic continues to affect their small businesses. This is Katie Comer with the Facebook organization, Small Business Department. The new data suggests that North Carolina small businesses are beginning to recover from the pandemic, with 84% overall reporting that they are open for business. Notably, 83% of North Carolina minority-led businesses and 84% of North Carolina women-led businesses are operational, 9 and 10 points above the national average, respectively. So that's good for North Carolina, in spite of what the governor is wanting us to do, stay closed down. I'm glad we're moving forward. Some additional findings from the North Carolina survey include 63% of business owners in North Carolina are confident in their ability to stay open at least 6 months, which is 5 points below the national average. 28% of operating small businesses in North Carolina expect challenges related to cash flow, and 21% expect challenges related to demand or lack of customers in the next few months. Only 17% of operating small businesses in North Carolina reduced employment as a result of COVID-19, 10 points below the national average. So, North Carolina data releases showing some positive signs that we're beginning to dig out of the mire and the muck of the negativity across the state and begin to recognize that it's time to move on, folks. Time to move on. Well, after reports that a $1.4 million home, that's a $1.4 million home, not a $375,000 home. I'm talking about $1.4 million home in a secluded area of Los Angeles, whose population is reputedly less than 2% black, was sold to one of the founders of the Black Lives Movement matter. Some black conservative commentators took her to task. Now, she's one of the leaders, one of the founders. She bought a $1.4 million home in a secluded area where there's only about 2% black population. The rest of them are white. On Wednesday, Dirt.com reported, quote, a secluded mini compound tucked into LA's rustic and semi-remote Topana Canyon was recently sold for a tad more than $1.4 million to a corporate entity that public records show is controlled by Patrice Kahn Cooliers, 37-year-old social justice visionary and co-founder of the galvanizing and for some controversial Black Lives Matter movement. So what do you make of that? Would that be called white privilege, maybe? Although she's black. 16 minutes before 9 o'clock. I'll be back in just a moment.
WCAB would like to welcome a brand new business to Rutherford County, All Ray Tire Center in Forest City. These guys will be glad to take care of your vehicle needs and concerns. Of course, they carry tires, but they also specialize in oil changes, alignments, suspension, brake service. They also have a pickup and delivery service. When purchasing tires, they ask you to bring in the best prices, and they will beat it. Come by and let them prove it to you. Open Monday through Friday, 8 until 5, Saturdays, 8 until 12. That's All Ray Tire Center, 247 West Main Street in Forest City. Give them a call at 828-229-3246, your newest hometown tire store.
This is Gilbert. If you owe the IRS past due taxes, don't call those toll-free national numbers. Local, affordable help is right here in Rutherford County. Stop garnishments, levies, and liens. Call Gilbert Carmona at 828-289-9300. All initial consultations are free. Call Gilbert, 828-289-9300.
Saving money is easy when you shop at Jay's Discount Grocery. From snack foods to vegetables, fresh fruits to fresh cut meats, paper products, cleaning supplies, dog food, and so much more. You know, you just never know what you'll find at Jay's. So shop and save today. They're located at 671 Oak Street in Forest City, right beside the Hospice Resale Store. You know, when you shop at Jay's, you always walk out with money left over in your pocket.
You know, folks are loving to shop Family Treasures there at the Tri-City Mall in the parking lot there across from Belk. You'll be amazed at what they have in there. A lot of folks are loving to go into a lot of things, collectible items, new things, old things. It's a great place to look around and get your shopping partner together and go over there and see what they've got, and you'll be impressed, as so many other folks have been. Go and see them and tell them we sent you over there, and you get a special discount if you'll tell them, well, I heard WCAB talking about you, so I came over here to see and buy something. They'll give you a 10% discount on that. Family Treasures right there at the Tri-City Mall in the parking lot right across there from Belk. There you'll see it in the corner. It's a nice lady standing by a long building. You can't miss it. They got a lot of great things in store. I wish you would go by and look around when you're doing your out and about shopping today. Be sure to run by there and see if I'm telling you the truth on that. I think you'll be impressed with it, as many others have been. Just a few more minutes before My Great America kicks off here in the Blue Room again, but right now we got a couple of things I want to run across you. It's baseball season, of course, is just a few weeks old and is already over for some fans because, as National Review's Andrew McCarthy so officially put it, the left ruins everything for us, it seems. Sports, entertainment, toys, snack cakes, you name it. Everything's offends somebody, it seems, anymore. Their wokeness is a cancer. It's taken every enjoyable, unifying, non-political piece of American life and destroying it. In Georgia, their crusade against the state's election law is built on a house of lies. And for once, GOP leaders aren't letting them get away with it. Good for them. Stand up and be bold and courageous and show them the truth. If Major League Baseball wants to alienate half of the country and pull the All-Star game from Atlanta, which it seems they have done, over a law that makes our elections safer, let them do it. Governor Brian Kemp is determined to make Georgia elections safe. It will only show the rest of the country who they are, cowards who cave to fear, political optimism, and liberal opportunism and liberal lies. In this moment, he told Americans we need to make a decision about what we're going to tolerate as a people. If we don't, facts and truths won't matter. The far left will come for every aspect of your life. As it seems they're doing that right now, even your children's storybooks. There won't be a single patch of everyday America when they've done. That's, as for me and my administration, the governor says, I will not back down. Georgians will not be bullied. We will continue to stand up for secure, accessible, fair elections. Good for him. Yay, Governor of Georgia. I like that. Brian Kemp. Over the weekend, the uproar over Commissioner Robert Manfred's decision to relocate the game reached a fever pitch. Conservatives, who were already well past their boiling point on cancel culture, were ferocious in their calls to boycott companies like Coca-Cola, Delta, Home Depot, and so many others who, like Joe Biden, had to resort to outright fiction to justify their phony outrage. What they're saying about the law in Georgia that was passed is untrue. They didn't read it. So that's what I was talking about a while ago with the uncertainty of news that wants to say things that aren't true. The idea that showing ID at the polls is somehow a resurrection of segregation is absurd. And frankly, African Americans and every minority ought to be offended at the suggestion that the left thinks they're too uninformed or oblivious to follow Georgia's election protocol. If anything's racist, folks, it's presuming that an entire people group are too ignorant to vote lawfully. They ought to be the ones that's so upset over this that the left is thinking they're too dumb to vote. Those families who lived under Jim Crow segregation decades ago, and also who in modern times have the everyday experience of pulling out photo identification for all sorts of common activities like checking into a hotel, getting medicine, find that comparison appalling. Why can't we pull out an ID to vote? I mean, come on. Family Research Council's Ken Blackwell wrote in Breitbart, not to mention he pointed out black Americans support things like voter ID by a 42% margin. So if these CEOs had actually read the bill they're willing to torch their profits over, then they have a mental problem or a mushroom back problem. The left's problem, apart from all the obvious ones, is that it's using an old playbook. Their strategy of picking a state to make a national example out of isn't going to work here in Georgia. The American people and even the majority of business leaders are disgusted by the wokeism, the corporate hypocrisy and corruption of big business and their cronies in the Democratic Party. And they're ready to exact a price. Already, Republicans are moving quickly to make this decision hurt. In the Georgia House, legislators made it clear that if Delta doesn't have a problem asking for a photo ID to board a plane, then they shouldn't mind it at the polls. Don't you see, folks, the hypocrisy of that? The folks that require an ID to get on board the plane are saying they are upset because Georgia's requiring an ID ID to polls. Until then, leaders have fired back with a partial vote to strip the airlines of its generous tax breaks. In Congress, conservatives in the House and Senate are getting their ducks in a row to pull the Major League Baseball's antitrust exemption, a threat that should certainly get Manfred's attention. In the battle over national messaging, Republicans are landing plenty of blows, pointing out baseball's incredible double standard where its New York headquarters and Chinese business deals are concerned. Minority Leader Mitch McConnell from Kentucky argued it's jaw-dropping to see powerful American institutions not just permit themselves to be bullied, but join in the bullying themselves. Wealthy corporations have no problem operating in New York, for example, which has fewer days of early voting than Georgia, requires excuses for absentee ballots, and restricts electioneering via refreshments. There is no consistent or factual standard being applied here. It's just a fake narrative gaining speed by its own momentum. That's Mitch McConnell speaking. Even detractors of Georgia's bill can't believe that corporate America would pick this fight when they have so much of their own political baggage. When it comes to sermonizing about racial and social justice, most of those CEOs don't have a leg to stand on because what they're doing is so hypocritical. If you look at it closely and study what they're doing, Delta, Coke, Major League Baseball, they all work in China, a country now committing genocide. What standards do we hold people to? In Coke's case, they aren't just selling in China, they're selling China to the world. The company's president said, pushing back on pressure last year about the communist regime, he said, we're fully behind China, and we're here for a long term. There's just no shame anymore, it seems. It's time for American corporations to stop their radical activism and get back to business. Nobody's asking these CEOs to fight on our side. We're asking them to stop fighting on social issues, period. Get about your business. If you sell hamburgers or chicken sandwiches, sell them. But don't take our money and use it to preach wokeism to us. In the meantime, there are plenty of things we can do to make ourselves heard. That's what I want us to do. I want us to stand up and be bold and courageous. We can boycott them, and we should. We can disconnect from them. We can join coalitions to stop corporate tyranny. But there's something else we need to be doing that's just as important. We need to confront them. The left is only controlling these companies because liberals are loud. Conservatives are quiet. We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. We want to smooth it over. Maybe we can talk them into doing. No, we can't. We've tried that already. They're liberals in the minority, but they're loud, they're boisterous, they're intimidating, and they hit us with a low blow and we roll over. So we need to write letters, make phone calls, share the truth on our platforms, and spend our dollars rewarding the brands that stay in their lanes. So find those folks that are true to America and support them. And those companies that are rolling over on us, then we ought to let them know that pocketbooks do hurt. I'm not a Coca-Cola drinker anyway, so I can't do much more than not drink them. I haven't had a Coca-Cola probably in 15 years. But maybe I can find some other way to my little bit, but we gang up together, a bunch of us, a little old dollars can make a difference in the long haul. It's 8:55, just a few minutes away from My Great America with Jim and Butch. Butch is in the building, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to get out here, make a little rest here on the old throat, and play a little music from the down the road years ago and see if we can get ready for My Great America. Stand by. See what we have to talk about this morning on a great, great program. Thanks for supporting it and listening to us and giving us your comments on it. I'll be back in the morning bright and early in the Blue Room, 6 o'clock with the Gospel Hour, then 8 o'clock News Hour, 8 o'clock through the rest of the time, talk session. And let me remind you again, those of you who are listening regularly, there may be some interruptions throughout the day. Our engineer is here on duty trying to figure out where some of these problems are with our transmitter blasting out and buzzing and whipping and snorting and cutting off. And we are going to have him work on this today, so we may be cutting off and on, so bear with us until we can get all that fixed. Meanwhile, I'm going to go get me a little syrup of elderberry syrup here, get the voice cleared out, and we'll have My Great America coming up in just a few minutes.
filter for just $29.99. Syntec is formulated for today's engines to minimize friction, heat, and wear. Try Syntec today exclusively at
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Hello and happy Thursday. We'll see a mostly cloudy sky becoming partly cloudy to mostly sunny at times this late afternoon and evening. Temperatures will be quite pleasant today with highs in the upper 60s and low 70s. It'll feel less humid later today. Getting quite chilly though overnight tonight. We'll see a mostly clear sky. We start in the upper 30s and low 40s Friday morning. Friday afternoon we'll see a mostly sunny sky. Highs in the mid to upper 60s and near 70. Some rain showers for Saturday. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Beautiful day in the neighborhood. Beautiful day in the neighborhood. 62 degrees currently in sunny skies, and it'll be nice all day today. So get out in your yard and do some flower work. And if you run out of things to do, come to my house, my yard. We'll let you do some flower planting there. Carry some mulch or something like that. We'll be nice to our neighbors. It's 9:05.
It's time now for My Great America with Jim and Butch, a conversation about positive things about this great country. And now here are Jim and Butch.
Good morning, Butch. How's the duty?
You have had a lot going on, Jim. I came into WCAB and your engineer was stretched out asleep on the couch.
Yes.
I came in here to the control room and you've got, it's not disheveled, but you've got things pulled apart. Feels like we're building a wagon while we're driving it. We're fixing the airplane while we're flying it. You've had quite the morning, haven't you?
It's been quite the morning, and you are a calming effect for me after all the things been going on. And my tirade on the air, you're a calming effect for me. You help me calm down.
Would you like a hug?
Not on camera.
Okay. Well, you know, this is My Great America with Jim and Butch. And, you know, I was thinking this morning as I got up early, I always try to get into God's Word and hear what God has to say before we hear what the world has to say. Because, Jim, you know what? You do such a very precise job of unpacking a lot of what's taking place out there in the marketplace. And it's really disturbing. It's easy to get stirred up. And, you know, when I opened the door here, it was like I was opening the door to the nuclear reactor room on an atomic submarine. I mean, there was a lot of energy in here. And so it's always important for us to start out our little program on Tuesdays and Thursdays by remembering again the unshakable words of God. And I feel like this might be especially for you today and for others that are listening.
That'd be great.
And so what I want us to do is I want us to remember that in God's Word, He has made promises to us that will never change. Now, they're conditional. Well, a lot of times people like to grab the promise, but they don't remember the if part. Mm-hmm. God in Scripture has if, then. Well, listen to this. This should be encouraging. This is from 1 Corinthians 2, and it's chapter 2, and it's verse 9. But just as it is written in Scripture, Jim and everyone listening, things which the eye has not seen, and the ear has not heard, and which have not entered the heart of man, all that God has prepared for those who love Him, who hold Him in affectionate reverence, who obey Him, and who gratefully recognize the benefits that He has bestowed. There are things God has prepared for us as we obey Him and trust Him that we cannot even imagine. The most colorful artists, the most beautiful writers of prose, the most incredible people who have penned symphonies cannot capture the glory, the grandeur, the beauty, the honor, and the incredible things that are in store for whom? For those that love, trust, obey, and engage Jesus and find Him worth the knowing each and every day.
You know, and I wonder sometimes how folks indeed get along in life without returning to the Scripture and the encouraging words of the Scriptures, and also some of the great old hymns out of the hymn book we used to sing a long time ago. Some of those words so encouraging in life.
Yes.
If we just go back to the old hymn and read some of those, have faith in God. He's always there.
That's right.
It's that's how I get through my frustrating moments is knowing that there's somebody else in charge of things. It's not me.
Right. Exactly, Jim. And I think through the years, the reason that God's allowed you to be steady in the face of it all is because your anchor holds. You know, there's actually a song, right?
That's right.
Your anchor holds. And a lot of people don't know that you've been part of gospel quartets through the years and been engaged in that arena. And so, folks, let's keep our hearts tender today as we acknowledge God in the face of everything. You know, today is actually an anniversary of something very historic in our country. You know what it is?
Let me see. I did know that. The day Abraham Lincoln was assassinated?
Yes, April 14th, actually. Yesterday, there was a conspiracy that included a botched but bloody assassination attempt against Secretary of State William Seward. And, of course, he was involved in that great transaction, I believe, where Alaska ended up becoming part of our country. There was an aborted attempt against Vice President Andrew Johnson. John Wilkes Booth, a Maryland-born actor with Confederate sympathies, shot Abraham Lincoln at Ford's Theater, and, of course, he died the next morning without ever having regained consciousness. But you know what it took me to is I went back into a great little book that I've been reading called What Would Lincoln Do? And, of course, he was one of our great presidents. And, look, this was a guy that was not photogenic. He was not going to show up on Fox News or CNN as, let's get that real handsome guy. He was tall and gangly. He had a history of misrepresentations about he and his life. There was even at one point a circular that was put out before one of the elections saying that he was somebody who mocked preachers. And he had to actually come up with a little counter response to all of that. But, you know, one of the things about Lincoln is that he really allowed his faith to guide and be foundational to his leadership. And one of the things that he did that you don't hear very many leaders, certainly not presidents, do, is he had times where he said, I was wrong. How many times have you heard a leader at any level say, I was wrong? Well, listen to this, folks. I did some digging and found this. This is actually a letter that was written by Abraham Lincoln, the president, to General Grant, Ulysses S. Grant, who, of course, was his own colorful personality. This is July 13th, 1863. This is what Lincoln wrote to him. My dear General, I do not remember that you and I have ever met personally. I write this now as a grateful acknowledgement for the almost inestimable service you have done for our country. It was so busy in Washington for Lincoln and so busy on the battlefield. Here you have the great general who ended up becoming president and the current president had never met each other. He said, I wish to say a word further. When you first reached the victory of Vicksburg, I thought you should do what you finally did, march the troops across the neck, run the batteries with the transports, and thus go below. I mean, here we have a president that's getting into the general's world and saying, this is what I thought you should have done. Run the batteries with the transports and thus go below. And I never had any faith except a general hope that you knew better than I, that the Yazoo Pass expedition and the like could succeed. When you got below and took Port Gibson, Grand Gulf, and vicinity, I thought you should go down the river and join General Banks. And when you turned northward, east of the Big Black, I feared it was a major mistake. I now wish to make the personal acknowledgement that you were right and I was wrong. Very truly yours, Abraham Lincoln.
He's a real man to admit that.
You know what? How often does that happen, Jim?
No, I don't know it happening very much.
You know, and what I have found in my own life is self-deception is the worst deception of all. You know, when you're deceived, false religion is one of the worst devils of all. We talk about that often, where a person feels like, I'm okay. My family's gone back 3 generations in my church. We've got a brass plaque. We're always there to, be celebrated in the 4th annual, whatever the event is at the church.
We even have a stained window dedicated.
We even have a stained window, and in some cases in the Anglican church, when I was an Anglican, they could even say, would you like to go out and see my grandfather? He's in the mausoleum that we have as an adjacent building. And I had somebody do that one time in Knoxville, Tennessee. They said, would you like to see my family? I said, sure, and they walked me back to the mausoleum. I thought I was going to be saying hello to a bunch of children and everything, but that's a different story. But we can be deceived so easily, and the grand deceiver, who is Satan, the father of lies, will have us believe things that certainly aren't true. And there is a tremendous breaking of bondage in our life that happens when we say, I was wrong. will you forgive me? With God's help, I hope and pray I never do that again. And you know what? I had to go back to each of my children and do an inventory that was prompted by God, not by a 12-step program, but do an inventory and identify the times where I failed them as a father. I was a very committed father. I was very involved in our children's lives, but because of my later in life alcoholism, I really transgressed some areas that created concern and anxiety and a lack of hope at points. And I went back to each one of them and said, this is what God's put in my heart to ask you to forgive me for. I know that God's forgiven me, but I want to do that. And it's tremendously freeing, Jim, when we do that.
Meant a lot to them, too, I know.
It does, and it's healing. And, just like there's no right way to do the wrong thing, which is what my grandfather, we called him Pop-Pop, used to tell me, there is no time but the right time, which is right now, to do things right. And so, we're taught at my church, Word of Faith Fellowship, we keep short accounts, we deal with each other on matters, and what it does is it keeps the devil from having those beachheads and those linchpins and those places that all of a sudden, it says in Hebrews, to discard the things that easily entangle. We can be entangled with all sorts of things, and we're dragging these lead balls and chains around, and we don't need to live that way. God has called us to a life of freedom, and I was so inspired that Abraham Lincoln was able to tell a general, I was wrong and you were right.
One of the things I really appreciate about Abraham Lincoln and some of the others who wrote letters like that to their leaders and other people, because you knew exactly what was being said in the letter. It wasn't tweeted out, it wasn't Facebooked out, it wasn't interpreted by a 24/7 news team. He wrote the letter, you got the letter, you know exactly what I mean, what I said.
Right. There weren't all these filters, and now folks were going to have a 1-hour special telling you what did Lincoln really mean in that letter.
And we have our panel here to discuss
it. And was it ghost written? Was it written by somebody else? Right. And then you know what would happen? It would end up on your program the next day. And you'd say, folks, you can't believe what they did. And then I'd be out there saying, Jesus, please help my friend. Please help my friend. I can see the jugular. It's moving. But you know what? You seem good. Now we're going to make a sort of a radical segue here. I don't know if that's a North Carolina word. It's a Butch word. Segue.
Segue.
Where we're going to move into another area. You know what actually helps with hypertension? Onions.
Yes.
Onions. And Jim, we're going to talk about onions for a minute.
Vidalia onions.
Vidalia onions. You probably never knew that there are some vegetables that have just been commissioned as Republican vegetables. And the root vegetable, the onion, the Vidalia onion, is actually one of the sale of it is one of the fundraisers that we have locally. So if you could just talk about that for a minute.
Sure.
Because we're both active Republicans. Real quickly, this is I'll use a North Carolina phrase. Okay, I'll take a rabbit trail.
Yeah.
We'll chase that rabbit.
Yeah.
In 2015, about this week, you know where I was?
I'm afraid to ask.
Well, I was with a group of Hillary Clinton strategists.
That's what I was afraid to ask.
Okay. Right. We're getting mown back. Don't go to that place. Stay in the calm place that we're in. Now, I was with a group of strategists, and in 2015, God's done a lot in my life, in my heart, and my political stance since then. We were talking specifically about what we could do to get disaffected young, faith-driven millennials to vote for a different candidate. And I'm just so grateful for what God's done. But let's go back to onions for a minute. Tell us about the Republican Party onion promotion.
First of all, let me also say onions are indeed healthy for you. You eat an onion in the evening, it'll help you sleep like a baby. Onions are really good for you.
Well, since you opened the door for that, let me let all the Chihuahuas run loose here on exactly some of the benefits. One medium onion has 44 calories, but delivers a considerable dose of vitamins, minerals, and fiber.
Yes.
They have potent anti-inflammatory properties that also help reduce high blood pressure.
Yes.
And decrease the risk of blood clots. Onions have been shown to decrease cholesterol levels. They're an excellent source of antioxidants. In fact, they contain over 25 different flavonoids. Eating vegetables of the allium genus, like garlic and onions, has been linked to a lower risk of certain cancers, Jim, including stomach and colorectal. Is that the present? Okay. Eating onions controls blood sugar, which is especially significant for people with diabetes or pre-diabetes. It increases bone density. It's antibacterial. Now, people will say, I don't like onions. How can I get them in my diet? Well, you can use them to add a kick of flavor to your guacamole recipe. You can add caramelized onions to savory baked goods. You can combine cooked onions with other vegetables for a healthy side dish. Add them to your egg dishes. You can top meat, chicken, tofu. Thinly slice red onions to your favorite salad. There are lots of ways to get onions in. So now that I've given you the health benefits, it begs the question, and we're glad you asked, where can I get some?
By the way, they're great on hamburgers, too.
Okay.
Yes, the GOP fundraiser is an annual thing. We've been doing that, I don't know, 15, maybe longer than that. And the orders are being taken now. They pick those up straight fresh from the farm in Vidalia, Georgia, the latter part of this month. So people can order by 10-pound bag or 25-pound bag. 10-pound bag is $10. 25-pound bag is $20. And orders have been taken. They can do several ways. They can call our friend Robin Smith at 828-429-7822, or they can stop by the GOP headquarters and place an order there, or I have order blanks right here. They can stop by here and order them, and we'll go. Somebody's going to pick those up a latter part of this month. As soon as the farmer says they're ready, they go down. So, sometimes you can buy them. I don't be critical of a grocery store, but you buy them on the store. You don't know how long they've been in the back room waiting to get out on the produce stand. These are straight, fresh from the farm to our headquarters.
Right, and folks, these are nonpartisan Vidalia onions. If you're a Democrat, if you're unaffiliated,
That's
whatever
right.
your predisposition, get those onions. It'll help the local Republican Party under the new leadership of Bryson Smith, but of course, also with a lot of the old stalwarts. I had a wonderful lunch, by the way, with Dick McCallum this week, and we need to honor the people that have continued to pour their lives into the local Republican Party, and you're going to see new things with the party. It's going to be community first, community centered, and it's going to bring help and hope in life to everybody that's here locally.
One of the things that happens sometimes is folks hesitate, and the onions come, and we deliver them to the people who ordered them. And they're all gone. People say, do you have any more of those Vidalia onions? I meant to get some. So don't delay. Get them ordered now so your name can be on the bag, 10-pound or 25.
Right, and in the spirit of entrepreneurship, what you're going to have, this is what I would have done when I was younger. I would have just created like another market for them that was 50% more costly than if you bought them at first. I would have been the guy out on the street corner reselling the onions that I purchased from the Republican Party. But, folks, it's a great way that you can have health benefits in your life, and you can also encourage the local Republican Party. Now, there's also something happening in May, Jim, that's very significant. It only happens every so often. You know what it is?
I'm not sure.
Okay, you want to know?
Yes.
Okay, so in May, millions of people around the United States are going to have a front row seat to something. It's an extraordinary entomological, which is a great Scrabble word, event. Trillions of brood X cicadas across 15 states will emerge almost with synchronicity after having spent the last 17 years underground.
Wow.
It's going to happen in May. Now, the males take up these elevated positions. They buzz as loud as a lawnmower to attract the females, and after mating, the adult cicadas die off en masse just about as quickly as they arrive, likely sometime in late June or July. You're looking at me like you're interested. This is kind of interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Now, what's interesting is their offspring will tunnel underground, and they won't emerge until 2038.
Wow. Interesting.
Yes, and now annual or dog day cicadas appear across the United States every summer. You'll hear their signature mating song. It's as ubiquitous as the passing ice cream truck. But the cicadas taking center stage this year are distinctive because they've got black bodies and red eyes, Jim. And they've got these predictable cycles of 13 or 17 years. Now, this year's brood X, pronounced 10, is one of the largest and most widely distributed. You're going to be able to hear the buzz from New York to Georgia, as well as west of the Mississippi. The Washington, D.C. area is expected to be a particular hotspot. Now, I just set the volleyball up there for you to spike, Jim. Doesn't that seem appropriate, all the noise? John Cooley, a biologist at the University of Connecticut, said it's going to be something that nobody can ignore in the target area. When they come out, it'll be millions of them per acre.
Wow.
Millions. And here's the question I have, and the whole reason I wanted to share this today. For all the people that say, well, you know what, the world just kind of came into existence with a big bang, and then we had slime swamp, and out of that came this and this and this and this. Scientists to this day don't know why these periodical cicadas emerge in such overwhelming numbers. They think it may be because they want to avoid birds and snakes, but they don't know. And they don't know why they emerge exclusively in prime number year cycles. Cooley said it's been the question of the hour forever. Well, I'll give you the answer. Because the God of the universe, who's creative and sets everything in order, and it says in him we live and move and have our being, who knows the hairs on our head, who knows every bird in the sky, the God of the universe set that in motion, in order. And it's just another powerful reminder that God's at work.
Yeah. Boy, it pays to listen to this program. I'm telling you right now, you learn more than you ever expect.
Well, onions and cicadas and how to be a friend. Now, we've had some people. I've had some people that have bumped into me, or I've bumped into them in local. Typically, what'll happen is they'll hear my voice and they'll say, "Are you that guy that's with Jim?" It's always with Jim. You know, but I love the. It's an honor to be your understudy. It really is. Yeah. I love it. But you know, Jim, I got something here, and I've had some people that said, "I wish you would talk about this or talk about that." So, folks, this is a red box. Suggestion box. It is red, isn't it? It is, yeah. Kind of reddish pink. And if people want to send in or call in with a suggestion, hey, I'd like it if you'd focus on this historical figure, if you talk about this or that. This is going to be the WCAB's My Great America with Jim and Butch suggestion box. We'll have it here. We'll make sure it's not used for trash or something else. But if people wanted to call, where would they call? What would be the number? And if they wanted to email, what would be the email they'd have?
Well, email them directly to me at jimbishop@nctv.com. That's like North Carolina Television, although it's nctv.com. Or they can call our phone number at 828-287-3356. And that's right here to the desk, and we'll take that phone number down. I think it's a great idea, and I hope folks will need to respond to that.
Right, and you may have like pithy little bits of Rutherford County history that you want to share. Whatever it is that you want to share, as long as it's sweet, as long as it's kind and encouraging, go ahead and do that, folks.
I'd like to make a suggestion too. Sometime when we have the time, I'd like for you to talk about some of your trips to Israel.
Okay, I'd love to do that.
Walk where Jesus walked.
I would love to do that. And as a matter of fact, Uri Steinberg, a dear friend and somebody I do some projects with, he's going to call in from Israel at some point and give us an Israel report. I told him about 2 weeks ago, I said, would you be willing to be the WCAB Israel correspondent? We're going to go high-tech and upscale here.
All right.
Jim. Okay, as we close today with a couple of minutes that we have, I want to relate a story that was really inspiring to me that gives hope about this question: can journalism be honest and fair? It's a question for the hour. There's a story of a young TV journalist that illustrates this principle. At age 26, this young man was given an opportunity to anchor a network's evening newscast. He went head-to-head with somebody named Walter Cronkite, the most trusted news reporter at the time. The young man was sharp. He'd grown up in the home of a newsman. He'd been a national-level news anchor in Canada prior to getting the job, and he had a good attitude, but it wasn't enough. In 1968, after 3 years, he stepped down. I had the good sense to quit, but he didn't quit the news profession, Jim. And this is the whole principle: don't give up. Let God help you be tenacious and keep moving forward. What he needed was more experience, so he became a foreign correspondent. For a decade, he took assignments that sent him to hot spots around the world. He went to Vietnam, reported from the Middle East during the Yom Kippur War, the Lebanese Civil War. He was at the Munich Olympics when Palestinian terrorists murdered Israeli athletes. In 1978, he returned to the anchor desk. This time, he was a seasoned reporter. He was competent. He was experienced. He had grown into the job. If you haven't already guessed, that reporter was Peter Jennings. Now, what's the principle here? I told somebody recently that I'm mentoring because they were so anxious. They're a millennial. They were so anxious to get to the finish line and get to the place of sort of life the way that it'll be if they keep being faithful and moving step by step forward. Maybe in 20 years or so, I told them, being a seasoned leader is like me and a good pickle. How does a good pickle become a good pickle? You get a good cucumber and you put it in the brine and you let it sit. And so every life experience, God wants to teach us something that we can then, as the Apostle Paul talked about in the book of Timothy, we can then pass on to others. And I get the sense that there are a lot of people that are discouraged and have quit, and they've said, I'm too old, I failed too much, I just don't have a bright path ahead of me. With God's help, there is no circumstance or situation that you can't walk through and get to the other side. It's one of the things that I love about our church. When I came here, a broken down, grieving, bitter man, not too many years ago, 3 years and 6 months ago, I found health and hope and healing mostly from people who said you can't wallow in your bitterness, you can't wallow in your anger, and God will help people get out of it. And our history is filled, whether it's Abraham Lincoln, Ronald Reagan, Gerald Ford, who stepped in and probably to lead our country, whoever it may be, or, somebody who took over a radio station decades ago, who today is having to deal with all kinds of technical problems, and your tech rep sleeping out on the couch just now.
Yeah.
Whatever it may be, don't give up. The spirit of America, the thing that has made America so great, is we as a people don't give up, do we?
That's right, exactly right. That's what we're all about in America.
Right. So take your elderberry juice that you've got in the refrigerator, get into your Bible, and we're going to see you next week. And it's going to be with an anticipation that God does great things over the weekend. I love being here with you, Jim, and
I love it too.
I love My Great America.
My Great America. God bless America, and I'll see you. Have a great weekend.
You too.
Thank you for joining us for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Join us each Tuesday and Thursday morning at 9:05 for this enlightening program on 100.9 FM and 590 AM. It's My Great America with Jim and Butch.